Happy New Year from CSE, Dr. Rhonda and Deirdra Cox. Hey, welcome into the CSE Green Table Talk Zoom room, where today we're here to share some of our thoughts about 2020 with you and share some tips. I want to call them GPS location navigation tools so that as you make your way through 2021, there's no rerouting, only intentionality so that you hit straight, you hit the road and you hit straight towards your goal because we don't want anybody to miss a goal along the way. So, Dr. Rhonda, welcome into the CSE Zoom room, my dear. I got to
Hello,
tell you, girl,
everyone. Happy New Year. We're
thank you,
excited to
ma'am. Thank you,
be here.
ma'am. I got to tell you that it's 2020. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being my business partner, my business boo. I want to thank you for making the great pivot. When March hit, when the pandemic hit, we jumped into the Zoom room space and created some pretty salient points, tips, and processes that
Yeah.
have really boded well for us in the communities that we serve. So for that, I'm grateful. And I just want to say this to you. I couldn't imagine doing business and making a business pivot with anybody else but you. So thank you. I appreciate you more than you know.
And hey, and I want to say thank you to you too, because you know where I've been and where I've been going. And I appreciate you too, because I've learned a lot from you. And I appreciate your presence in my life and in my family's life. And I just appreciate you for not allowing me to give up on, the art of partnership and what it could bring. So I appreciate that.
And I say ditto on that one, girl, because we've had some folks in our space
Yes.
and that's one of the learning lessons. So I'm grateful for that. But I want you to really speak from your heart today and share with people, your thoughts, what you learned and what you want them to take away, what you want them to put in their GPS as far as a location.
Okay. Well, I couldn't start with 2021 until I kind of like wanted to share with people my reflections of 2020. 2020 brought about a lot of lessons. It brought a lot of heartache. It brought a lot of pain. It brought a lot of everything for everybody on the planet. I don't think the pandemic left any stone unturned. It hit everybody from the richest all the way down to the poorest. And a couple of things stood out to me about the pandemic and about us as a people. So, one, the first thing is when you start to lose everything, it really shows you who you are. When you feel like your world is crumbling and you're losing things left and right, or things are not stable, it really shows you who you really are. And I say that because people have lost jobs, people have lost income, and it really does show your family who you are, your friends who you are. And it shows how afraid we are, of instability. And we need to just kind of look at that and really reevaluate some things about ourselves. And so I had to do some reevaluation, and I'm a believer. And so the pandemic really made me lean more into God, and that has helped me get through the pandemic. Number two, the little things are really the big things, right? The little things in life are really the big things in life, because during this pandemic, I have been able to really value time with my friends, time with my family. We've made more memories, being stuck in the house at the beginning of the pandemic, we were stuck. And so I really did appreciate, us eating together more, us, being together more, creating game nights, creating more memories, and really finding creative ways to connect with my friends. Like Deirdra, we would meet up at a park, and have lunch. So all those things mean so much to me. They were small things before the pandemic, but I really do appreciate that. Um, Lastly, we can evolve and thrive during a pandemic. We have the power to evolve and thrive during a pandemic. We have so much resiliency. We're super strong as a people. I mean, we've kind of put the world back up on its shoulder, and we're kind of operating. We're not at 100% operation, but we found creative ways to have birthday parties, do baby showers, even do business, and so that showed me that, wow, we're really stronger than what we think. Now, going over into 2021, right? I kind of, chewed on it for a minute and felt like, wow, what do I want out of 2020, 2021? I got to start saying that right. So I
Hmm.
felt like I wanted to win more in 2021. And I coined 2021 as the year of wins. And I declare that for everybody under the sound of my voice in this video, that you will win more in 2021. But you have to have a winner's mentality, and you have to do some self motivation. You have to believe in yourself in order to win, right? So just a couple of things that winners do. And I want you guys to take this with you, chew on it. I love to chew on stuff because it gives you time to chew it, taste it in your mouth and swallow it, girl, and spit out the bones, right?
I love
Uh,
it.
so number one, winners are not afraid to get into the game. So we can't be afraid to get back into the game. If we've been sitting on the sidelines for most of 2021, I mean, most of 2020, sorry, it's time for us to get back into the game. That's what a winner do. They ready to play the game. And they're ready to make change. Number two, winners boldly ask for what they want, right? You have to, and I think everybody has to get bold to ask for what they want. I mean, my mom used to say to me, a closed mouth does not get fed. And if you're in need of employment, business opportunities, you want to network with people more, it's time to ask for those things and ask for them boldly. There's nothing wrong with it. Number three, winners are relentless about promoting themselves and they're intentional about promoting themselves. Once again, a closed mouth don't get fed, so we don't know what your needs are. So you have to be very vocal. I think it's really, this pandemic is forcing us to be more vocal about what we are, who we are, and what we can do for someone else. Number four, um, winners know who their sphere of influence is, right? So now it's really time to dig into that Rolodex for opportunities for ourselves because our lives depend on it. One, if you look at your Rolodex and it doesn't have the people in it, you can do something about it. Start reaching out to people on LinkedIn, start reaching out to people on your social media that you would love to develop a relationship with, and you can do a Zoom meeting with them to enhance the quality of your sphere of influence. I mean, me and Deirdre, we're about that. We don't mind shaking some hands, and we used to kiss babies, but now we don't kiss them.
No kissing.
No kissing. We're the politicians of the community and economic development
No,
space.
no kissing. No
No
kissing.
kissing. No kissing. But we don't mind meeting someone over Zoom. If we end up going face to face, we don't mind. We're very intentional now about who we add to our sphere of influence, and you as a winner, you need to be intentional about it. um, Winners take pride in their craft, right? They take pride in what they're doing. So hone in on the craft, figure out who you're trying to be to the world. If it's you want a promotion, put yourself together like you want that promotion. Work on your training and your development. Be relentless about gaining more information and insight. And start thinking of yourself as that go-to person because you can do that. Last but not least, winners are always open to opportunities and experiences. They're always open to opportunities and experiences. And we have to be more open now because things are very different. I've heard the word new normal so many times, and it's real. We are in a new normal. And so we have to look at opportunities and experiences differently now. And winners, that's what we do. So, hey, I don't know what you got to do after today, but tomorrow's January 1st, and you need to reconfigure your thought process and get a winning mentality.
Mm, I love it, Dr. Rhonda. So with that, that's a perfect segue to, so you got to recalibrate your GPS.
That's right.
Okay, so this is the one reroute. So
Hmm.
this is where we are turning off 2020, but we're putting the lessons learned into 2021, and we will take the big reroute, but we're not going to reroute in the middle of the year because we know where we're going. We're focused. So
That's right.
thank you. Thank you. Those were some very salient tips, and I took notes. I took copious notes. And that leads me to this because you talked about a winner and a winner's mentality. There's a gospel artist that I love. Her name is Corinne Hawthorne, and she has a song. It's called Unstoppable.
Uh-huh.
And there's three things that I love. I love that she says. So first of all, you are unstoppable. So as a winner, you are unstoppable. I'm talking about you operate from a place of integrity, you operate from a place of transparency, and you operate from a place of knowing who you are and whose you are, and you are intentional about every move you make. So you're unstoppable. She
Yeah.
says you get all the way in it. As you said, Dr. Rhonda, you cannot live on the sidelines anymore. No more sideline cheerleading. It's
Yep.
time to get in the game.
Right.
And don't show up to a football game in a baseball uniform because somebody's going to get hurt. Show up dressed appropriately. You said that. Show up and be that which you
Hmm.
say you are.
Hmm.
Then Corinne Hawthorne says, after she says, get all the way in it, she says, that's the way you were made. So you're up on your business. So I just want to be able to say to everybody in CSE Green Table Talk land, listen, You were built for this. If you are still living the vertical life and you are within ear distance and earshot of what we're saying, you were built for this. You were built to thrive, not survive. So I want to drop a couple of Deirdra Cox nuggets here on you from
Right.
CSE.
All right. Preach.
Okay. So, so here at CSE, we're all about upward economic mobility, and we're
Yes.
all about wealth building and asset building in communities of color, because communities of color have been hardest hit by the pandemic. But there's some things that we've got to do to support our communities so that they can be sustainable
Mhm.
and they can pass that sustainability on to their family. So Dr. Rhonda and I lovingly refer to the processes that we immerse our families in as the anatomy of sustainability. So I want to share with you three things that I learned in 2020 as it related to building my emotional, spiritual, financial, and physical fortitude. I learned truly that my relationship with God is the most important thing in my life.
Yes.
There's another song that I listened to that I didn't know that God was all I needed until He was all that I had. And there
Mhm.
have been days and times sitting in this room doing Zoom calls, not being able to go outside and socially distancing and being quarantined. It plays on you, but you have to be strong. So I learned endurance. Endurance is precious, and you have to be thankful for that. And God
Mhm.
gives us endurance. He gives us the strength to endure. And again, I'm grateful to be standing here right now. I'm sitting, but I'm grateful to just be alive right now, right? So
Mhm.
so one of the things that I learned was God is all I need.
Yes.
Second thing I learned, that everything I need to be successful, to be sustainable, to be uber successful, it's already in me. I have to take personal inventory. Can I tell you guys something? Therapy's been the best thing. Jesus and therapy have been my go-to during this pandemic, because I walked into the pandemic with some baggage, right? So when
Mhm.
you came into the pandemic with baggage, you had to really look some of that baggage, you had to look it in the eye. You
Yes.
couldn't look away from it, but you had to look it in the eye, and you had to deal with the inner me. I had to deal with some inner me enemies,
Mm.
so that didn't manifest itself in the business growth. Because Dr. Ron and I, when we made the pivot in March, it was on and popping. We had to continue to move forward, and it was relentless. So Dr. Rhonda talked about that being a winner, had to be relentless. So I had
Yes.
to deal with my inner me's. So therapy was a great thing for me. And then thirdly, that physical fitness piece was critically important. I can tell when I don't work out, when I don't go walking, I can feel it mentally. Walking has become it's like a breath of fresh air breathing on my brain and just blowing through my brain and blowing away all the cobwebs and giving me a fresh perspective. So those were three of the things that I learned, because those three things empowered me and enabled me to sit in the space that I'm supposed to sit in as a leader with Dr. Rhonda, so that we could continue to let thought processes, creativity,
Yes.
and new partnerships evolve. So for that, I'm very grateful.
Yes.
So I want to be able to share with you going into 2021 some things that Dr. Ron and I have talked about, and some things that I feel are going to be extremely important to you as you navigate this new terrain, this new normal that we are in, because things are not the same. What we knew before COVID-19 is no longer the same. So I want to say this to you from a mental and physical wellness perspective. Please take care of your mind. Your social, emotional wellness is important. If you have children, it's important that you, as the adult, that you manage your mental wellness and your physical wellness, because your children are watching you. If you're not taking care of yourself, literally what you're doing is passing on bad habits, and you're going to see it manifest in your children. And can I say this? Our children are having a very difficult time right now. They're,
Mhm.
they're doing homeschooling, they're virtual learning, they're not able to see their friends, and our kids are going through a lot. So now's the time for us as adults to own our stuff. If you got to go to therapy virtually, virtual therapy is a thing. Do that so that you can maintain your emotional and spiritual resilience for your household and for your children. And make sure you get some exercise in there, even if it's walking a mile, if it's stretching. One of the other things that I realized is that your core is important. I've started doing Pilates this year towards the end of the year, and you've got to strengthen your core. And it was almost metaphoric. To strengthen your core means everything in you, your core beliefs, your core rituals, whatever that is for you. But you got to strengthen your core, and you've got to be intentional about that. So make sure that you get that exercise and whatever that is. But stretching is very important, because you need your blood to circulate through your body so that everything is being nourished, your brain all the way down to your toes. So I'll leave that alone. Educational attainment. Now is a perfect opportunity in this space where we have to socially distance and where everything is via these cameras.
Mhm.
There are so many opportunities for anybody out there that has a desire. If you know that your gifts and your skills are the answer to a problem in the world, get yourself some education. find yourself a certification. Don't spend a lot of money for it because there's a lot of free opportunities out there or low cost opportunities where you can get a certification that'll put you in the land of 6 digits.
Yep.
So when Dr. Rhonda talked about prepare and equip yourself for success, get out of the scarcity mentality. That goes back to pillar number one, mental wellness. Erase and cast out of your house, evict a poverty mentality and a scarcity mentality. Because if there's something you want and you know that you've got to be prepared to get there, do that thing that's going to prepare you so you can walk through the door and take your opportunity boldly. But be bold about executing with absolute excellence too. So get that education, get that certification, but also make sure that you are honing in on your skills. I know you guys feel like you're hearing it twice, you're hearing it in stereo sound. Dr. Rhonda said it as well. Hone your craft, become a subject matter expert in 2021. Don't you dare let 2021 leave and you've not become a subject matter expert in at least two things. So that means that education, that career workforce development, those are critically important. And now, guess what? Now that you've fortified yourself in those three areas, guess what? The money is going to be chasing you down. So you've got to be financially literate and you've got to be capable because now you set yourself up to win, not just for yourself, but for your family. Now you're positioning yourself to be upwardly economically mobile. And now you're setting yourself up to build assets and to build wealth. Assets accumulated create wealth. And can I just say this to every community of color out there? Every community or person that's listening that has never thought about building assets and building wealth that they can pass on to their children and their children's children, I want you to stop and think about that right now. That's really what life and the evolution of life is about. It's not about us struggling from year to year, from decade to decade, and century to century. It's not about that. It's about us establishing ourselves in a community, establishing ourselves in a career or in a business. And the business is the thing that we do, and it's the mark we leave in the world. It's our gift making room for us so that now we're able to accumulate assets and income so that we can pass that on to our children so our children don't have to want for anything. So I want to leave you with that for 2021 as you think about what you want to do, as you think about how you do it. Think about those four pillars. Think about your anatomy of sustainability. How are you contributing to it? How are you honing it day by day? Don't give up. Don't give in. Don't be bitter. Get better in 2021. So happy New Year, you guys.
That's
Dr.
right. Happy
Rhonda,
New Year. Happy New Year. And don't forget, 2021 is the year of the wins.
the year of the winds, the year of the warrior, and the year of being unstoppable.
Yes.
And stay tuned. We want you to continue to visit CSC Green Table Talks because we'll be bringing you some more great topics in 2021. And we're also going to have the videos will actually be on our website, which is www.communitys, that's COMMUNITY, S as in Sam, E as in Edward.org. Visit us, stay connected to our website. There'll be lots of opportunities for you to participate. We're going to be able to share with you one of our newest opportunities for you to partner with us. We're doing some amazing consultative work, and we'd love to talk with you about how we can support you in shoring up your community outreach platform. So with that being said, thank you for joining us. I know it looks like I'm in San Francisco. I feel like I am. Dr. Rhonda, I love you, girl. Thank you for everything that you've done this year. And I'm looking forward to an amazing 2021, the
Yes,
year
I
of the
love
win.
it. That's right. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, love. Bye, everybody.